In this video, I'm trying out a new software called Rapid Resizer, and the reason I'm giving this a try is because it has a really extensive palette of glass to select from to colour your designs. Now you can apparently design in this program, but it's not sophisticated enough to handle the kind of designs I need to do, which are like for churches 4 meters big, and I need to have more of a technical drawing package for that. So I'm just trying to get started with it, and the first thing I'm planning to do is open my line drawing into this software so that I can colour it. But I had trouble because I couldn't work out which sort of files it recognised. So I used their help, and it tells me that it can recognize PDFs, PNGs, SVGs. Anyway, it seemed quite a good help function, told me what I needed to know. So I changed my drawing into the sort of format it would like. So this sketch, I had done in a program called Sketchbook. And I made an earlier video showing you how I did this drawing. And I'll put a link down below. So I think I changed it to a PNG, and that enabled me to upload it to Rapid Resizer. Now, one of the first things I did was I corrected the skew on my drawing. My drawing was based on a photograph I took in the church, and as you know, if you're taking a picture of something up high, you'll lose the parallel lines, and it's the sort of thing you can correct quite easily on Photoshop. But because it was only a sketch, I hadn't worried about that. But then I did find this function was available with Rapid Resizer, and once I'd got the hang of it, it worked really well. In fact, I found it easier than on Photoshop. It's probably worth saying that I didn't look at any tutorials for working this program. I relied on it being intuitive, and actually it pretty much was. Like with all new programs, it takes a while to find your way around what it actually does. And then once you've worked out what it does, you then have to find the right buttons to make it happen. But I did it in the end, and like I say, it's quite a useful help bar. So yeah, I managed to do what I wanted. But I'm sorry if there's a lot of experimenting and backwards and forwards in this video. I'll cut some of it out anyway. So then I got a bit confused about where to find the glass and how to get back to the screen that gave you the option of colouring your design. Once I'd got the hang of this, it wasn't a problem, but at this stage it wasn't obvious to me. The interface I did find a bit confusing, although the actual process of dropping the coloured glass into my design couldn't have been easier. It was just getting to that page that wasn't the most intuitive thing for me. I think I had to start the project again, select an old design, and then I think that's how I found the colouring option. And there it is. So you can see it offers various fills, and I'm going to select the glass one, but it also has very nice wood veneers, which I find difficult when I try and represent wood, which sometimes I have to do. And they have all these different manufacturers, some of which of course won't be available in the UK, but I won't get too bogged down in that. I'll just go for whatever colours I like the look of. Now, another very nifty feature of this is when you've finished filling in your design with all your pieces of glass, so long as you've set the correct parameters for your window, it will calculate the square area of glass needed for each different glass. So it will produce a sort of buying list for you. Now, bearing in mind, you've got to probably add on, I don't know, 10 to 30% for cutting. I think some people might find that very useful. I don't worry too much when I buy glass. I overbuy and then I return what I haven't used because I feel more secure about that. You never know if you're going to break something. And the glass shop I use is in Reading. I live in London, so it's a drive. And I don't want to have to go back for just one piece of glass I have to recut. And they're very helpful at Reading Stained Glass. They let you return what you haven't used. So I overbuy and then I return. And sometimes, anyway, if I just like glass, I'll keep it to have it in for stock. But you can see, I mean, what an extraordinary palette to choose from. And I've never managed to produce a design before using this software that was able to come even close to representing what glass looks like. So I'm delighted to have found this package. And although, okay, I can't use it to design, that doesn't matter. I'll carry on designing the way I always did with Illustrator. And then for sending the client a design which will show them what it's going to look like, this is just perfect. So I'm really happy. So the way this works is through a subscription. You don't buy it. I think a year's subscription works out at about £100 and a month's subscription is about £10. So, you know, cheaper if you buy it for the year. But I think what I'll probably do, because I tend to do big projects, which might last me 5 or 6 months, and then I'll only be designing for maybe a month at the beginning of that process. I think what I'll do is just buy the month of subscription when I need it. But I just love this. It was so easy. And I just really enjoyed the fact that it was very easy. If you changed your mind about a colour, you simply dropped the new glass in on top of the old glass and it just replaced it. So that was lovely. I didn't realise that was going to be so easy. I think I spent a while working out how to delete a colour when I didn't need to. But yeah, I'm very happy with this, so I would recommend it. And so far, the developer has been quite good at responding to my questions. I'm still waiting to a response from a few days ago, but maybe he's getting tired of me. The first time I emailed him, he got back to me within a couple of days. I'm asking him irrelevant questions or something. I might be asking how to do things that can't be done. For example, when I finished this design, I tried to drop it back into a different program because I wanted to change the scale of the design within the frame. And you can't do that on this, or not very well. You can, but it wasn't easy. Whereas on other programs, it's very easy, as you will have seen in my past video where I was using Sketchbook. But when I dropped this design back into Sketchbook, for some reason, it had gone tiny. Even though I had carried the design from Sketchbook into Rapid Resizer, when I took it back from Rapid Resizer into Sketchbook, it was so small. And when I tried to enlarge it, I lost all the definition. So that didn't really work for me. So I think the moral of that story is make sure you're happy totally with the design before you add the colour, because you won't be able to edit the design in this program. Well, I mean, having said that, I find a workaround at the end, and you'll see that, but it's not very satisfactory. It's very clunky because it's not doing something that this program's really designed for, I think. I got a bit confused because it seemed to me like every time I saved my design, it saved as another file, and I also couldn't work out how to name the files. And I think I did email the developer about that, but he hasn't got back to me yet. I mean, maybe it's just not something you can do. It had a nifty little function to email, to send to somebody. So it saved it in a format which could easily be sent. That was very useful. I did have trouble copying it, and I can't remember how I figured it out. I think maybe you just highlight, yes, I think you just highlighted it, and then used the right click. But as you can see, it's shrunk to nothing, and you'll see as I enlarge it, I lose the resolution. So what I had hoped to do was make my design bigger within the frame by dropping my design back into Sketchbook, but yeah, when I enlarged it, as you'll see, I just lose the resolution. So then I thought maybe I could bring the frame into Rapid Resizer and put a smaller frame within the design and then erase what was left on the outside of that new smaller frame. But that didn't work, as you will see me trying. I decided to work around the problem by drawing a frame freehand onto this design and then rubbing out everything that was on the outside of this frame. But as you'll see, I struggle a bit, and you know, partly that's just because I'm working this program out as I go along. And in that respect, it wasn't too bad. It was fairly intuitive. The thing I would say really didn't work very well was the very odd erase tool, because it sort of erased in rather uncontrollable blobby circles, but you'll see what I mean when I get to that. I think you can see there. And it seemed to, the size of the circle of the erase tool, I think is related to the speed at which you move across the trackpad. I think the slower you move, the smaller the circle. Now, I might have been doing something really dumb, and maybe someone who knows how to work this software better than me will tell me, oh no, there's a much simpler way to erase without all those weird blobby circles. But I mean, I managed it, but I'm going to speed this up because it really did take me quite a while to get it sort of right up to the edge without going over the edge. Not very controllable at all. But you can see that I did end up with the slightly altered design I wanted. So that's all good. And like I said, all in all, if you're a stained glass designer, this is the only thing I know that will give you such a fantastic palette of glass samples. There is another software package out there, and it's called Glass Eye, which is a bit of an odd name, and it's American, and it's I don't think it's for Macs, so that wouldn't work for me. And also, the reviews are quite mixed about the support you get after you've bought it. So yeah, I'd give this Rapid Resizer software the thumbs up.